Hello guys, welcome to episode 21 of the Football Manager Creator Showcase. I cannot believe we have got this far. Over 40 creators have been showcased on this show over almost a year now. I think a year in August. Absolutely amazing that it's kind of come this far. If you don't know what this video is all about, this idea is all about, this is a place where we look at smaller FM creators or football manager creators who create content mainly on YouTube, but we've done a few make content on other platforms as well. And we give them a place to tell the world about their channel, why they started out doing YouTube or Football Manager on YouTube, what their motivations are for keeping going, and what their future plans are for the channel, how they're going to dominate the world. And yeah, you guys seem to absolutely love this. I love doing it. And what it does allow is you guys to find creators that you might not have come across before. You can go over to their channels and subscribe to them and watch their content. And that's the idea. As always, we have two creators for your eyes today. And I'm really excited about these creators, as I always am. We have Khaos, OP, and we have Load FM. Two interesting fellows. I mean, Khaos has been around for a little while, didn't start off making FM content, but he's moved on to that fairly recently, and he's sort of appeared on my radar in the last sort of few months or so, making some outstanding content, and he's well worth going along to check out. Load FM is someone I've known about for a little while. He says he's only been making FM content for a year and a half. I think it's a bit longer than that, because I remember him just starting out, and he was one of the first small creators that I came across on YouTube, and kind of got me, in a whole rabbit hole of smaller creators. Enough from me. I think we should listen to what these guys have to say. See you in a second.
Hello, my name is Daniel. I am the man behind the YouTube channel Load FM. I'm also a Luton Town fan, as you can probably see behind me, a season ticket holder, and my day job is working in the NHS. My channel generally focuses on Football Manager and was started and intended to be that way. I've also sort of branched out into a few other sports games, so the likes of Cricket 19 has featured and has a current series as well. I've had Snooker 19 on the channel, I've had an Ashes series, I've also had plenty of FM content. I think I had one dabble with FIFA 2 back in the day. Probably not the best, I'll be honest. But FM is definitely the main focus. I normally have two long-term stories that run each year. So I have a head coach series, which is my main staple hold. It's a director of football challenge combined with a journeyman story. We move from club to club. We have no say in transfers, contracts, staffing or the like. And we just have to put up with what we're given, basically. So that often leads to a few interesting moments and quite a few sackings along the way. I also then normally do a one club story or a youth academy challenge, something like that, alongside it. They're the sort of series that I love to do. So plenty of variety within FM. We do have the odd little challenge in that as well, but I mainly like to focus on the long-term things. I'm not really a fan of experiments and the like, so you probably won't see that from me. I am, however, a massive sports fan. I'm looking forward to the thought of a new golf game this year. There's been a couple of tennis ones as well. So I certainly wouldn't rule out seeing any other sport on the channel. I'm a fan of most of them, and I'm sure if there's a good enough game and I can find the time, you'll probably see content from it here. My current series on the channel, being long-term stories, are both quite late on. So I've got the head coach story, as I mentioned earlier, but that is late on in the series now. So we're sort of starting to reach the elite level. We're starting to move abroad for the first time. And thankfully, we're at a stage where we start to get decent directors of football most of the time. But you do still get the odd shock in there. My one club series this year is with Dorking Wanderers. So we're trying to work out from the bottom playable league in England all the way to the top of the game. We're now well over 10 years in. We're having a great time with it. I'm really enjoying it. The reason I love the one club story is because you get attached to the players, you get attached to the club and some of the things surrounding it. Obviously, off the pitch in real life, they're a bit of a Football Manager style club. They've had 13 promotions in 20 years since their inception. They are the classic FM club, and we just tried to continue their journey.
Headed away, and this is where Bayern are so lethal. So long ball forward. What's the keeper doing? Oh, you've got to be joking there. He just stood still on the edge of the box. Have you ever seen anything like it? It's almost like a glitch. Let's go back and have a look at that again. The ball came forward. Look at this. Firstly, the two centre-halves have just stopped, or the defenders, and the keeper just stood there. He could have walked out and pumped it clear.
Finally, I've also just started live streaming as well, and that's my third series from FM on the channel. I've got a weekly live stream series every Tuesday morning at 10 AM. It's my day off from my normal job, so that's the reason I do it on that day. And I love one of the clubs I managed in the head coach so much, and we had such a set of circumstances that when we then left them in that series for realistic reasons, I had to carry on with them. So that's Burnley, and they had 7 or 8 different brilliant wonder kids, different levels, all coming through at the club or poached very early on. So as a result, we've done a Youth Academy challenge with them. It's only a few weeks in. I'm very new to live streaming, but I'm really enjoying it. Getting to interact live with people is much better. So I'd always encourage people to check that out first. Come and hang out with us on a Tuesday morning and see if you like what you see. My future plans for the channel are quite big. I want to continue the head coach series every year. I was quite a new YouTuber. I've only been doing it about a year and a half. So I feel like the last 2 months, particularly since starting to live stream, I've really found my style, and the feedback on the content and the watch times really improved. So I feel like my last couple of months is probably the style that I'm going to adapt moving forward, and it's going to make up most of my FM and other content in the long term. Next season I've got something planned with a local football club as well. I want to do a series that's a little bit more focused and branching out into real life. I know in the later years that can be harder, but it's something I definitely want to do moving forward. Maybe a series moving further down the pyramid as well, rather than just the 6 playable leagues. So that's definitely the plan for the future. More live streaming, more intimate series with local clubs as well. And of course continuing the head coach, which has been a really big success for me.
And I meant dominate the chances, of course. The stats look good for the home team, but we're on the counter here with Seekins. Loses out in the air, but it falls for Vera. Beats the last man, he's in one-on-one. Oh, what a goal, Oliveira. He has had some very inconsistent and disappointing displays recently.
So the reason I started making FM content is a little bit of a bizarre one, and it came from bad news as well. So about 4 years ago, in a pre-season training session for my Sunday League football team, I did the classic footballer's injury, the ankle ligaments and double leg break. I was out of action for 6 months, then unfortunately picked up glandular fever as well and was knockout in bed for 3 months. At that point, I was looking for something to do and watch in between sleeps, and I found Lelujo's Football Manager channel and just sort of fell in love with that sort of content. It's the sort of thing I'd always done anyway in written form. I'd blogged on the community pages for SI games. I'd always enjoyed that side of it. So to see that you could actually make videos about it sort of inspired me a bit, but I didn't know how to go about it. But then about a year and a half later, myself and a couple of friends, we started a little football podcast and started uploading it to YouTube. And I realised actually it was technically possible for someone who didn't know much like me. So that's what got me into it. I gave it a go. The first year and a half had some good moments, had some patchy moments, and I've continuously tried to find my style. But I finally got there, and this is what we've got. So it started from a bad moment in life and health-wise, but it's ended up being a blessing in disguise. The big content that I follow, it has to be Lelujo. I know it is one of the big boys, but it's the one that got me into the game, and it's the one that made me want to do it. So I have to say him. He was the original, and the original's always the one you normally end up sticking with. There are a couple of others that I've really enjoyed along the way. I guess Second Yellow Card was a big one for me, because probably similarly isn't as much on the story side, but more about the football knowledge, talking about different players from lower leagues and all over the world. And that's what I'd say I probably am. I don't really have the big acting repertoire, I'm not really doing the story side so much, but I absolutely love football, and I'll drill down into all sorts of players at non-league level and talk about them in detail. And that's the sort of thing I love doing, so I would say he was quite a big one for me as well. I am always trying to adapt the channel and sort of using it for my personal conversations as well. So for example, myself and a friend were trying to do the 92 before the lockdown. Unfortunately, that was stopped recently and we're now no longer able to attend football, and we lost out on 7 or 8 grounds we planned to go to at the end of this season. So we started a weekly stadium review series as a result. We're talking about the grounds we visited together in England, giving our opinion and ranking them in certain areas. It's just something that we would normally talk about when we're on the train to a ground or something like that. So during lockdown, those sort of conversations have kept us sane. And as they're football related, we thought we'd put them on the channel too. I guess I have mentioned already, I am part of a podcast as well. It's called the Honest Football Podcast. And again, the lockdown has sort of worked well for us as a channel. We've had the chance to interview loads of professional footballers, both past and present, coaches, people from non-league, the areas of the game I love. We generally avoid Premier League level. And that's really taken off in recent weeks and almost become sort of a dream come true. To sit there and interview professional footballers every week just gives you that little buzz, that little bit of the butterflies in the stomach you get before playing a game. It replicates that feeling of playing football, and that's something really special. So I'm really enjoying that as well. And that's probably another hope for the future for me, that we can do more combining the two channels, and hopefully both will continue to grow. So thank you for checking it out, and I appreciate you giving the new content a try.
Headed away, and this is where Bayern are so lethal. So long ball forward. What's the keeper doing? Oh, you've got to be joking there. He just stood still on the edge of the box. Have you ever seen anything like it? It's almost like a glitch. Let's go back and have a look at that again. The ball came forward. Look at this. Firstly, the two centre-halves have just stopped, or the defenders, and the keeper just stood there. He could have walked out and pumped it clear.
Hello everyone, I am Khaos and welcome to my showcase. I hail from Barnsley in the UK, and as you can probably guess from the shirt, I'm a lifelong supporter of Barnsley Football Club. I would describe my channel as a relatively new Football Manager channel. I originally started off as a Let's Play channel where I played all kinds of different games, mainly stuff that I'd kind of got into as I was younger, and stuff that I'd enjoyed playing just offline really. I started off, I did a long series of BioShock because that's been my all-time favourite game, and I thought that would be a good place to start. But after I'd finished that, I kind of found myself playing games just for the sake of playing games. I did some Call of Duty content purely because that's what did well on YouTube at the time, and I kind of stopped enjoying what I was doing. Then I the reasons I'll go into later, but then I went on to making Football Manager content and decided to turn my channel into solely Football Manager. So I've only really been releasing FM content for probably the last year or so, maybe 12 to 18 months. Currently I'm working on a Journeyman save where we are in Albania. We're into his 4th season with a club called Teuta. It's the only save I've got running at the minute. I did have a second save going on as a lower league save with Skegness Town, but I've had to put that onto one side for now because of real life work commitments. I don't really get a lot of time to record. Recording, editing and uploading can be quite time consuming. So at the minute I'm concentrating on my Journeyman. Like I say, we're into the 4th season with Teuta in Albania. It's probably going to be my last year with Teuta because we've pretty much done everything that we can. We've won the league, we've got them into the Champions League, even though that didn't quite go as expected. But no spoilers going on here. If you want to go and check it out, do. It's been a good fun episode, and I've really enjoyed learning about Albanian football, even though I am butchering the names. Beautiful ball out to Trashy. Trashy's going to bring it forward, finds Dodder on the overlap. Dodder gets the cross in. Hassani! He's there. So my plans right now are to continue with the Journeyman through FM20, find a new club and continue with that. Probably going to keep playing that save now until FM20 reaches the end of its life cycle and FM21 is released. I enjoy the Journeyman seasons more because you get to experience new leagues in countries you're probably not normally managing. So you're different from your usual Premier League, Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, etc. You get to go somewhere different and come across the weird and wonderful rules that some countries have in place. I think I watched a video of Loki Doki who went to, I think it was Uruguay, and they did the relegation over 2 seasons. It's weird. The thing that I find most enjoyable about Journeymans really is it's a bit more of a challenge. You start off as an unknown, no coaching badges, with clubs of very low reputation. You've got to build that up, and then when you get offered that job for a Barcelona or a Real Madrid where you've got money coming out of your ears, and you can just go and start splashing the cash on the new gens and the world-class wonder kids because you're probably about 50 years into the future by then. It's satisfying. it's a very rewarding feeling getting through that and ending your career at one of probably the world's biggest clubs. So that's what I see going on. Maybe revive my lower league save with Skegness Town if I can find the time to start recording again. Trying to do videos daily with the job that I do is quite tasking, so that might have to just finish where it is, unfortunately, but we shall see. You can't see into the future. And then hopefully later on in the year, if the release date's the same, it'll be moving on to FM21 content and seeing what I can put out there. Well, it's been a quiet opening. Dodder, good throw. Lichkalari is onside. It's his first goal for us. Well, as I said previously, I started off with Let's Play videos and I wasn't really enjoying them as much as when I first started. Then I came across Loki Doki doing Football Manager content on YouTube. I watched him for a while before I started to think about moving into making FM content myself. I liked his humour. I could relate to his kind of humour. We've got a similar kind of sense of humour as him. So I was relating to that. I enjoyed the skits that he did, although that's not something that I've put into my own videos because it's just not something that I find in my personality. It's a bit out of my comfort zone. I like to look at more of the tactical side of things, making decisions on my saves and explaining why I've gone down that road with things and trying to put my logic into my videos so people can kind of look at it and go, maybe that's something that I could take on board when I'm looking at signing the next 18-year-old wonder kid striker in Albania. I've been playing Football Manager since it was Championship Manager, back in Champ Manager 3 days, and I usually sit talking to myself when I'm making videos anyway, not making videos, when I'm playing the game anyway. So it just seemed like a natural thing that, well, if I'm sat playing the game and talking and the decisions that I was making them out loud, so I would talk myself through why I wanted to sign one right midfielder over the other right midfielder and why I would pick, when I were looking for jobs, why I would pick one club over the other. And I thought, well, if I'm already making these decisions out loud, why not just start recording? So I started making my videos. I didn't have a face cam originally because, again, that was a little bit outside my comfort zone. That's something that came later on, and I started to feel a little bit more natural about as I did it a little bit more. And after doing quite a bit of FM content with FM19 towards the end of its lifespan, I started a Journeyman there, and when enjoying that, I just decided that maybe that's the way that I wanted to take my YouTube channel, to turn it solely into FM. There might be an odd video of another game pop up somewhere along the line if I feel a burnout coming, but ideally I want to just concentrate on the FM. Well, as I said previously, obviously there's the big names. I watch Loki Doki regularly and I watch a lot of Lelujo's content. I tend to watch a lot more of the Journeyman stuff that they put out because that's the stuff I enjoy watching the most. I did enjoy Loki Doki's Fort William save last year, but I tend to keep away from the one club saves just because it just becomes a bit samey. But apart from those guys, there's quite a few people from the FM community on Twitter who I've got to know through my time making content and posting stuff on Twitter, who I've started to watch. So there's Old Lady Plays, The Custard Prophet, Cultured Left Foot, Cobby, Bomb Chop, Wolf Tracks. There's quite a few what you would class as smaller YouTubers, even though they've got quite a lot of subscribers themselves, and they are definitely on the up and up. I would recommend watching all of them. They all put out some quality content. Old Lady Plays put out a cracking save with Athletic Bilbao, which is a tremendous challenge because they can only sign Basque players, and she did a wonderful job with that. Cobby has put out recently started a new save with NAC Breda, which is also worth a watch. And I've been watching a lot of Custard Profits, FM creator showcases, etc., because that is a great way to find new YouTubers find more content. And as well as watching them, you can kind of look at the ideas that they're putting out and maybe put some of it into your own videos. Obviously, don't steal it, don't carbon copy it, because obviously the Journeyman is something that everybody's done. Loki Doki kind of championed that and brought that into the mainstream, but it's now something that everyone else does. But you'll find them all putting their own spin on things. So don't just go and rip off a YouTuber, but by all means go and take off some ideas, look at what they do well, and bring that into your own style, put your own personality into it, and put out your own content. This, to me, seems like a good place to say how much I've appreciated the FM community on Twitter, especially. They're great through YouTube, but they're absolutely tremendous on Twitter. It's a great, very, very, very good group of people. They're very helpful, they're very supportive. If you're thinking of creating FM content and you don't know where to start, then get onto YouTube, find a few of these content creators that I mentioned earlier, drop them a message, drop them a tweet, including myself, and we will help where we can. Old Lady Plays is fantastic with advice on how to take your FM games a little bit further. She's got some great videos out there, advice to the advanced football manager. That's definitely worth a watch. Like I said, the Custard Prophet puts out these showcases where you can go and see other YouTubers. Reach out to them. A lot of them will help you and offer their own advice, and we'll call it constructive criticism. Obviously, you've got to be able to take things on the chin when things aren't perfect, or maybe where they could be done better, and I value that, especially if somebody's going to go onto my video and leave me a comment on where I could have perhaps done something better. I'm more than willing to take that on board, and you have got to be able to take that on board. Obviously, there's ways and means to give that criticism. Don't just go out there throwing abuse at people, but be constructive with it. Tell them what you might have done differently. And these guys will do that. They're fantastic at it. They'll watch a video. I've even had Loki Doki giving me some tips on what to put in my titles, what to put into my description section, get my videos noticed, what I was doing differently. Old Lady Plays noticed that I don't speak to the microphone, or I didn't. So I took that on board, and that's something that I've worked on my content, and I feel like it's helped improve things. So yeah, definitely, if you're thinking about doing it, just jump in. Don't think, oh well, I can't do it because of this, can't do it because of this. Some people have started YouTube videos from a very basic laptop, a very basic microphone, no webcam, nothing, and just put videos out there, get started, get noticed, build a fan base, take on board the comments that you can get, reach out to some of these other creators that will help you out. No matter how big they are willing to help out the new people, the smaller content creators, and they will help you push that way. Because, like everybody, they want to see more FM content on YouTube. I've rambled on for long enough now, so thanks Custard Prophet for giving me this chance to have a showcase. Thank you everybody who's watched it, and while you're here, go and check out my To You To Save in Albania, the Journeyman. We're calling it the World Tour because I'm planning on moving around the world a lot more, and you never know, you might just get hooked onto my content. Thanks for watching. Chinari is going forward. He's been surrounded by two. He's managed to get it back to Checker. Toppy. Straight back to the keeper. I thought we were going to make some progress there. Bajrami. Hassani's picked that up. Chinari. Good cross. We've scored a goal. Ardit Hoxage. We've got a goal in the Europa League group stages.
Well, hello guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did enjoy that, make sure you go and check these creators out. In the description below, you will find all the details that you could possibly need to go over to their channel, i.e. the link to their channel. Uncork the bottle of their content and see what flavour it is inside. I would highly recommend both of these creators, and I hope to see you over on their channels. If you enjoyed this episode, though, make sure you hit that like button, the little thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you will, if you want to see more of these, and that notification bell is always appreciated. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed it. Tell me what you liked about it. Tell me how you'd want to see the showcase changed in the future to make it better. Anything really. I always enjoy the interaction with you guys. But that's enough for me. I will bid you adieu until next time in a couple of weeks, where we will have a look at another couple of creators. Goodbye.